The chandeliers of the grand ballroom sparkled like tiny suns, casting golden halos across a sea of laughter, music, and the clinking of champagne glasses. Men in tailored suits and women draped in silk gowns filled the air with elegance, arrogance, and whispers of wealth. At the far edge of the shining room stood Elena, a young maid almost invisible to the glittering crowd. She held a silver tray in trembling hands, her crisp blue uniform and white apron spotless, her dark hair neatly pinned back. A quiet dignity framed her face, though no one seemed to notice. It was here, in this same ballroom, that her life would change forever, though not in a way anyone could have imagined. The evening began like countless others, serving wine, carrying hors d'oeuvres, bowing politely, smiling faintly. But wealth has a way of turning cruelty into entertainment. That night, one man decided Elena would be his amusement. He was a wealthy, arrogant millionaire, with a habit of mocking those beneath him. Waving a folded note in his hand and surrounded by his laughing companions, his booming voice cut through the music. "This maid right here," he smirked, pointing directly at Elena. "She doesn't belong in this ballroom, but tell you what, sweetheart, if you can dance the tango, right here, right now, I'll marry you on the spot." Cruel laughter erupted. The words echoed in Elena's ears like a whip. Her heart pounded. Her cheeks burned. For a moment, she wished the floor would open and swallow her whole. What he didn't know, what none of them knew, was that Elena carried a secret buried deep in her heart. Before tragedy stripped her life bare, before she became a maid, before poverty forced her into servitude, she was once known across small theaters in her city as one of the most graceful tango dancers ever to step on a stage. But when her father fell ill and debt crushed their family, she traded satin shoes for scrubbing brushes, applause for silence, and bright stages for dim servant quarters. The man's cruel challenge, however, awakened something long forgotten within her. For a moment she froze, laughter filling the ballroom. She wanted to run, to escape the humiliation. Yet deep inside, another voice whispered, "You have nothing left to lose." Slowly she set the tray on the nearest table. Her breath trembled, her eyes lowered, not from shame but to focus. She recalled every rhythm, every movement, every ounce of passion she once carried. The pianist, sensing the hush that fell over the hall, touched the keys with curiosity. A haunting tango melody filled the air. Gasps replaced laughter. The crowd expected a clumsy, pitiful attempt that would fuel their mockery. Instead, Elena stepped onto the floor with her shoulders straight and her gaze lifted. Something shifted. She moved with elegance that silenced even the harshest eyes. Her feet slid and spun with precision. Her arms flowed like water. Her head turned with the poise of someone born to dance. The millionaire nearly dropped his glass. His laughter faltered, replaced by disbelief. For a long moment, Elena transformed the ballroom into her stage. The audience leaned forward, whispering in shock. This wasn't just dancing, it was storytelling. Her every movement spoke of years of sacrifice, of dreams deferred, of wounds endured silently. Each step carried rhythm, soul, and truth. As the music swelled, the tears she had held back for years shimmered in her eyes, though they never broke her grace. When the final note struck and her body froze in a perfect pose, the silence was deafening. For one suspended second, no one dared breathe. Then applause erupted like thunder. But Elena didn't smile. She bowed her head slightly, her heart aching not for their approval, but for the memory of who she used to be. The millionaire, red-faced and humbled, stepped forward, his arrogance shattered. He had mocked her only to be humiliated himself. Elena, however, didn't linger to savor the reverse. She quietly picked up her tray and walked away. The ballroom had witnessed her strength, but she wasn't there to win admiration. She was there because life had forced her to serve. And yet, in that single moment, everyone in that hall realized the maid they had ignored carried more grace, dignity, and strength than all their wealth combined. The millionaire tried to laugh it off, to call it a joke, but the truth lingered. He had mocked her, and now whispers followed him, not of his wealth, but of the maid who silenced a room with courage. In the days that followed, life began to shift. People who once never noticed Elena began treating her differently. Some asked her name, others offered quiet respect. A woman who once sneered left her an envelope with tickets to a small dance studio. A man whispered that he knew someone searching for instructors. It wasn't sudden wealth or rescue, but it was something Alina hadn't felt in years. Opportunity. By day, she continued her duties with humility. But in the evenings, in a small studio lit by mirrors and polished wood floors, she began to teach. Children, mothers, even retired couples came to learn, not just tango, but how to feel alive again through movement. Alina's pain had become her gift, the ability to inspire others. The millionaire who mocked her tried once to approach, perhaps out of guilt or shame. Alina only bowed politely and walked past. She had learned the most important lesson. Her worth was never defined by those who laughed at her. It was defined by the fire she carried inside. And so the maid who was once invisible became a quiet symbol in her city. A reminder that no matter how far life pushes you down, no matter how the world mocks you, your light cannot be hidden forever. Sometimes it only takes one cruel challenge to awaken the greatness you've kept hidden within.